I promised you that I was going to explain to you why a blog is so important. And now I'm going to. All right, so your blog should be integrated with your website. That's the goal. Okay, so there's a reason. And it's because your blog posts are the equivalent of pages. And pages, consider them like contacts. Let's think back to this whole networking example here. So if you only know 5 people to ask for business, you only have 5 people to ask for business. If you have 500 people to ask for business, how much more likely are you to find the business that you're looking for? A lot more likely. So each page that you have in your website is sort of like a raffle ticket that goes into the pool. And if you have 500 raffle tickets, you're a lot more likely to get pulled out of the raffle than you are if you only have 5 raffle tickets, right? So the more pages that you have, the more likely you are to get found. And that's how blogging builds the pages. So you've got this base that you can kind of leverage against. So the reason that MayCreate can do so well right now with our online marketing is because when we started it in October, we already had 400 pages in our website. So we've been blogging just a little bit, 1, 2, 3 times a month for years. And it had been growing over time. We'd been adding things to our portfolio and it had been growing over time. So this chart is, showing us the growth curve, and companies with 50 to 100 pages generate 48% more traffic than companies with 1 to 50 pages. So there's definitely a jump in there. And so as we talk about how much you need to do these activities, that how much is dependent upon how fast you want to go through the curve, right? And obviously, MayCreate took the slow and steady wins the race approach because we've been blogging since 2008. We just now started actually pulling in leads. Not because we couldn't have before, just because we didn't have the setup to do it. All right, so we want to provide timely, relevant, and useful information to your visitors. So making sure that the content that you're posting is things that they're interested in. And this is our lovely tracking. Here's that one blog post I was telling you about. So we've had 946 views on that blog post in the last 3 months. But I haven't had any leads convert off of it, so that's not the coolest blog post that I have up there. But you can see, how many people have visited each one, telling what people are interested in and what people are not interested in. You need to easily be able to share via social media. This is really cheap advertising. You install this plugin if you have a WordPress site, and then all these little buttons show up at the bottom, and then I can share your content with all the people that I know, and you don't have to pay me to do it. And a call to action on each blog post, whether it's sign up for our email list, click here to view our lunch specials, read another blog post, download an ebook, but we need to ask them to do something, please. And then easy to subscribe via email or RSS. And my funny comment on this one is that we didn't have this installed in here. We just have it on our download sheets. And that was well, because nobody's really ever signed up for our blog via email. Even when we, used to have it there, nobody ever used it. And then I had a guy who literally emailed me. He went out to our contact page and emailed me and was like, I love the stuff that you're doing. I really want to sign up for your email list, but I didn't see a form. Can you please put me on it? And I was like, all right, enough said. If you post interesting content, people will want to follow you. So you need to update regularly. Companies who blog 15 or more times per month get 5 times more traffic than companies who don't blog. I used an example. We were reviewing a client's website. They have a very, very specific service. They probably only get 20 hits to their website a month. It's very specific, right? The amount of traffic that's even looking for anything that they do is very small. They posted 1 blog post and got 6 more hits to their website. I was like, 6? 20? That's awesome. I'm on a normal website, you would be like, what's 6? But to them, 6 was pretty phenomenal, right?
Over 20% increase.
And they can work anywhere in the United States. They're not somebody who's limited by location. And then, so that's on one end of the spectrum, right? 15 blog posts a month, that's a lot of blog posts, unless you've got somebody who's just doing it, or you've got awesome people who contribute and you can put them in on your own. That's pretty good. But business-to-business companies that only blog 1 to 2 times a month generate 70% more leads than those who don't. So even just 1 to 2 times a month can make a difference. And then easy to interact with. And this is a question mark. Like, I'm never really, it's different for everybody. It depends on what your goals are. Do you really want people to comment on your site? Do you really want to like start a forum? Do you want to start a conversation on your website, or could you just use that in Facebook? Like, we use Facebook and Twitter to have conversations, and LinkedIn. We don't do it on our website. It's our decision. But as I was reading around and looking at everybody else's opinion about this, many people said it needs to be easy to interact with. So I feel like I need to tell you that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. So how much you decide to blog depends on your growth goals. If you want to grow, God forbid, people tell me this all the time. They're like, my company brings in millions of dollars each year. I want to grow 40% in 2014. And I'm like, oh, we should have been talking like last June. This is like, there's nothing I can do to help you grow 40% in the next like 9 months. That's a lot. Now, if you're a little bitty business and you're just getting started, we can get that done. But, you know, so what are your growth goals? How quickly do you want to build these things, right? How quickly do you want to mass traffic, get people through? I suggest blogging at least 1 to 2 times per month. Optimally, 1 to 2 times per week is pretty awesome. Because you can see that spike between those 15 a month versus 1 to 2 a month. There's a big spike in traffic there because you're building your base of your website so much more rapidly. When we switched to blogging from 6 times a month to 15 times a month, last year we did like between 4 and 6 times a month, and we got about 13,000 visitors for the whole year. And now we bring in like almost 900 visitors a week. So that's a big difference.